everybody, this is Tim Charron, and welcome to my brand new podcast called The Charron Zone, blah, 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 blah. Hey everybody, Tim Charron here, and I wanted to do a quick little story about what I learned from Charlie Daniels working with him. I got to open for him 4 or 5 times, and real quick, the number one thing that I learned from him is just by watching him treat other people, watching him treat the owners of the venue, the fans, the people that work there. He's extremely gracious, extremely giving with his time. Of course, I was at the show, and Nicole was there with me, and for one of them, my dad got to come, and Charlie took a lot of time to just hang out with us, make us feel really comfortable, and take photos and stuff. And then the coolest thing was we watched from backstage this little door, literally that's basically we're pretty much on the stage, and we got to watch him. You know, he's like 70-something years old, and the power of music, where he's not too spry when he's off stage, and then once he hits the stage, he's a bundle of energy and great performer and all that stuff. But the coolest thing really was to have that experience with my dad, who was a Charlie Daniels fan, and then all these years later, you know, like 3 or 4 years later, just to have that memory and have that experience that otherwise you'd never have in that capacity, you know, as an artist and someone, you know, being able to kind of relate to these national artists kind of on a similar level. And what I do is, I talk about it all the time, is I sit back and I watch, you know, what some of these iconic artists do, and that are great, that I can emulate, and things that, you know, maybe that I can make sure that I don't do if they don't treat people well or whatever. But basically, in the long run, what I learned from Charlie Daniels is to be proud of your career, because it's super cool that I have these memories with my dad, and so, like I talked about on a previous podcast, is, you know, be proud of what you're doing. It makes me proud that I was able to do that, and that I worked my way up, and got to, you know, have my dad have that experience. Kind of like, I have a great photo when I was opening for Bret Michaels, and I sang with Bret Michaels, and I have a picture of my dad who was in the audience, because nobody knew it was going to happen, and he's in the audience just rocking out in like the 3rd row, and he just has the biggest smile on his face. So you know, if you're just starting out, whether you're doing open mics, it doesn't matter what you're doing, at what level you're doing it. Be proud, and, you know, invite your family and friends, and then you'll have those stories forever, and they get to see you, you know, do what you love. So that's one thing that I learned from Charlie Daniels. Thanks for listening.